guys, welcome to the Silver Report. Here we are, Sunday, February 19th, 2017. We have gold currently trading at $1,236.30. Silver's trading at $18.08. And let's get right into some of the economic news that will be playing a factor. Now, it's interesting. In the media, in the news, we see that John McCain, of all people, is coming out. And in response to Donald Trump's press conference, he said a free and at times adversarial press is essential if you want to preserve democracy. And this is John McCain, a Republican senator. He said in response to Donald Trump's description of the media as the enemy of the American people. Now, the perception of the American people, number one, they don't all agree with Mr. McCain. And this is coming from some of the same neocon executive office, Washington, D.C. crowd that believes that somehow that fake news is the enemy of the American people. And what they title fake news is anything that opposes the mainstream, the corporation that is behind this government. And so they would label fake news information that goes against the common ground. In fact, Hillary Clinton came out during the campaign, at the end of the campaign, after she failed to win the election, even though these so-called real news channels were projecting her to win by more than 10 points, projecting a landslide for Hillary Clinton, their predictions, false. Not even close to reality. People were they were crying. They were crying at this because they thought that for sure she was a guarantee to win. And it was not even an opportunity. It was not even a chance that she was going to win. But the people were deceived by fake news. And her response on Twitter was to say that this is to show the people that fake news has very real consequences in real life. And so she blamed it on fake news promoting information that was unfavorable to the corporation. And so, saying that this is somehow an attack on free press. I'm not sure if you watched the press conference, but there was no attack on free press. In fact, I don't believe that he said anything that was untrue. Now, what they're saying, the veteran lawmaker, he joined German Chancellor Angela Merkel and others in pushing back against the president's criticism of the mainstream media. He said it's deeply concerning. This comment, it seemed to be part of a new war of ideas, is the way they described it. McCain said dictators get started by suppressing free press. And NBC, ABC, this is not free press. This is corporate-controlled press. This is not reporting of the news. Of course, he said in an interview with NBC, Meet the Press. It broadcast today. It added, he wasn't saying Trump aims to become a dictator. And he said, he quoted, "I hate the press. I hate you especially." He told NBC journalist Chuck Todd, and he laughed, "The fact is, we need you. Without a free media, I'm afraid that we would lose so much of our individual liberties over time," McCain said. And where was John McCain through the Obama administration we just went through, where civil liberties were eroded at an all-time record high? Where were you, John McCain, when they enacted the most technologically advanced surveillance apparatus ever known in human history? Where were you when they decided that in order to protect us from terrorism, they needed to listen to all of our phone calls? They needed to read our text messages, our emails. They needed to listen to your grandma's telephone calls. They needed to listen to this video. This is how they protect us, without warrants, wiretapping, access to phone records. Where were you when they were suppressing information on some of these mainstream outlets, these transfer of information sites, where they're rewriting words? Where were you to talk about a free press? And that just shows just how corrupt our government really is. And some of these people that have been incumbents for many years, working in the government for many years. In fact, John McCain, he was the runner-up against Barack Obama. So either way, no matter which way the election would have went, we would have had the same result. I love the way they described it because it's exactly what he said. He said Trump intensified his regular attacks on the news media in a series of messages on Friday and Saturday to his 25 million Twitter followers. And let's see what the Twitter said. He said, the fake news media, quote, failing at New York Times, at NBC News, at ABC, at CBS, at CNN. And he said, it's not my enemy. It is the enemy of the American people. So he said that he made this in a tweet. And do you see anything wrong with this kind of a tweet, this kind of a message? He said he deleted the initial version of the message. It concluded, sick. Because it is sick. It is sick what they're doing to our nation. For example, the introduction of promoting resistance groups to the United States elected government by the media, by instructing people on Facebook where to meet if they want to protest, which groups to go and join, by promoting different kinds of resistance groups, scheduling protests and riots, front and center as they have these inflammatory moments, which they know is going to be a flare-up, just wanting to see buildings burn in the United States. And to say this is not sick? Follow-up tweets by Trump, he berated the media for its reporting of his Thursday press conference and advised followers do not believe the mainstream fake news media. And he said it during the news conference, because I remember that he made the statement, watch, you're going to see it tomorrow. They're going to come out and say that Trump goes on an all-out attack on the media. And we did see those headlines. They're manipulating information. It's just that the reality is so extreme compared to the subjection to this propaganda we've been under for so long. The title, fake news, it's a tactic. The president continued the commentary during a campaign-style rally in Melbourne, Florida on Saturday, calling the media corrupt. And it is corrupt. They're supposed to be reporting facts, not echoing a agenda. The White House Chief of Staff, Reince Priebus, said Trump's characterizations should be taken seriously. The media really needs to get its act together. Priebus said in an interview Sunday on CBS's Face the Nation. In a separate Fox News Sunday interview, Priebus said, there are certain things that are happening in the news that just aren't honest. And it's a reality. It's a reality. It's not something to be feared. It said Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican of South Carolina, said, urged media outlets to do some self-evaluation. The coverage against President Trump has been almost to the point of being hysterical. You're over the top, he said. So at least Senator Graham's going to face the facts a little bit compared to John McCain. And that's exactly what we're facing today. Despite who gets elected into the office of the presidency, we have these trolls that have taken a grip on our government and are really stopping any positive progress from taking place. And then we have Angela Merkel, the one who is in the papers blaming fake news for her damage to her campaign, blaming fake news. And it's just a war on words where they're instructing people that it's fake news so that people no longer begin to believe it, that the only narrative allowed to exist is the narrative coming from their organization. And you see, Angela Merkel has almost a word-for-word script, as we saw in the failure of the Clinton campaign this year. Word for word, Russia is hacking me. Fake news has real consequences. Word for word script. No deviation. Is anybody really believing this? She backed the media at an international security conference in Munich. She said, I stand by a free and independent press and have great respect for journalists. This coming from the woman who wants to suppress the flow of information that they consider fake news, that they think that the government, as we just saw and we did in a recent video, it should be responsible for preventing the spread of what they call fake news. The German leader said on Saturday, while U.S. Vice President Mike Pence sat in the audience, we've always done well in Germany when we mutually respect each other. McCain He clashed with the president since Trump questioned the former prisoner of war hero status during the campaign. This week at the Munich conference, McCain, the head of Senate Armed Services Committee, he told European allies that the new administration was in disarray. In disarray. And I don't know why these people are still in the government. Who's voting for them? He said on NBC, we need a free press. We must have it. It's vital. If you want to preserve, I'm very serious now, if you want to preserve democracy as we've known it, you have to have a free and many times adversarial press. But that's not exactly what we have as just an adversarial press. We have lies. Lies. One of their head reporters, Brian Williams, had to step down because he was openly speaking lies. When you look at history, the first thing the dictators do is shut down the press. And that's exactly what they're trying to do with our internet. That's exactly what they're trying to do using these exchanges of information. That's exactly what they tried to do during the campaign. That's exactly what they're doing to us. So, what are they saying? This is the work of a dictator? All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me here on the Civil Report. If you like the information, be sure to subscribe. There'll be more videos just like this. Like the videos, share the videos. I thank you guys all for stopping by. And as always, stay safe.